What's going on, everybody? We're about to look at the charts for Bitcoin, Algorand, HBAR, XRP, and Ethereum. September is notoriously a bad month for the stock and crypto market, so we're going to take a look at the charts to see just how bad it could be, or if this September could be different than the last. If you enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and let us know down in the comments below what coins I should look at next week. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at some charts. So first off, we have Bitcoin, and as many people know, Bitcoin fell all the way down to about $15,500 in November of 2022, and since then it's been on an upward trajectory, reaching highs of about $31,800. That was around July 12th, and since then it's been nothing but down. We have fallen from about 31.8 thousand all the way down to about $26,000 where we sit today. The good news is we're still making a higher low than our previous low back on June 15th, around $24,700. We haven't reached that yet. We're still making higher highs and we're still making higher lows, which is a good sign for continued bullish momentum. However, if you zoom out a little bit, things look a little weak for Bitcoin. Now, when you look at the 3-week time period for Bitcoin, you can see something really interesting in the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, this indicator down below. I'm going to plot some green and red vertical lines and tell me if you can see the trend that I am pointing out. All right, so basically, if you can't tell already, every single time there's a cross on the RSI on the 3-week level with the moving average that's associated with this RSI, you see a change in momentum. So this cross right here back in 2014 meant it was time to sell. You could have got out around $892 and bought back in when it crossed the other way at about $219. That would have been an amazing time to buy. And as you can see right here, as soon as the RSI got above the moving average that's associated with it, we went from about $219 all the way to a high of almost $20,000. This sell signal on the RSI didn't flash again until Bitcoin was around $15,000 to $16,000. That still would have been a great time to get out because the next buy signal flashed at around $3,900 back here when the RSI got above the moving average that's associated with it. Now, I didn't add lines right here during the COVID crash and recovery, but if you wanted to, you certainly could. Let's add those right now just to see what it looked like. All right, so if you had sold when this flashed again to sell in October of 2019, you could have got out at around $9,500, and then it flashed buy again at around $7,500. So that would have saved you a little bit of money, not as big as these other, of course, very obvious buy and sell signals, but you see it very clearly here as well. It crossed bearish, the moving average went above the RSI back in April of 2021 when Bitcoin topped out at around $62,000. You could have rode that all the way down until it flashed this buy signal right around January of 2023 and got back in around $16,500. Now, where it looks weak is right here. It looks like it's about to cross bearish again. You can see this right here. If we add another vertical line, you can see it much more apparently now. It hasn't crossed yet, so I definitely have my eye out for it. But if it does, I would be a little concerned that Bitcoin could come down at least a little bit to retest maybe this blue moving average that we've tested a couple times in the past, just as we did during the COVID crash and in December 2022 to January 2023. Now, historically, it's been a really good buy underneath this 50 moving average. This is the 50 MA on the 3-week time frame, and every time we've been below it, it's been amazing buying opportunities. We could chart this out right now. Now, will history repeat itself? Will buying beneath these moving averages be historic buying opportunities? Time will tell. We have the lead up to the halving coming up. We have hopefully the Federal Reserve pausing interest rate hikes and eventually reducing those interest rates and starting QE again. I think the stars are eventually aligning for Bitcoin, and this could be an amazing time to be getting in for the next bull run. Of course, nothing here is financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in the charts. And we're going to leave Bitcoin with a couple price targets. On the lower end, I think Bitcoin could come down to about $24,000 soon and test this 50-week moving average. If it does do that, I believe it could see a strong bounce all the way back up to this 200-week moving average, which is at about $27,500. If we make it past that, we would have the 100-week moving average as resistance next, currently sitting at around $31,000. If Bitcoin can make it past that, I think the sky's the limit. We could be seeing the next leg up on the lead up to the Bitcoin halving. However, if we lose this $24,000 level, I would be a little bit concerned because, as I've mentioned in our previous technical analysis videos, this 50-week moving average tends to be our bull market support band. So as you can see way back here, when we're above this 50-week moving average in green, we are going parabolic. When we break it, we broke it right here in 2018 in May, and we just went south, like crippling south. We broke back above it in 2019 April, and that was basically the lead up to the next bull run besides the COVID crash. We stayed above it all the way up until we got to $65,000. We broke that at around $48,000 and have been below it up until March of this year. So we're above it now. We're technically in our bull market support band. This is a good sign. However, if we go below it, I would be concerned that this was just a bear market rally, and this really was just a fake out, and we're going to continue to make lower lows. However, all signs are good so far. As I mentioned, we are in that bull market support band. We're making higher lows. We're still making higher highs. So there's no reason to assume doom and gloom yet, but of course it's something that we should be paying attention to. If we take a look at Algorand, Algorand is still sitting at historic lows, and it's still sitting well below its bull market support band. So here we have the 50-week moving average in green, and just like with Bitcoin, and as we've mentioned in prior videos, it acts as the bull market support band. You can see we were above it all the way from August 2020 until about January 2022, where we broke below it and have been below it ever since. Algorand would currently need to get above about 21 cents to reclaim its bull market support band. That would be about an increase of 122%. If you zoom into the daily, you can actually see a bullish divergence happening, which is a bullish indicator. So this happens when the price makes a lower low, but the indicator does not. So you have the indicator right here, the RSI, making a higher low and the price making a lower low. This signals that the trend is weakening. The trend has been down. The trend has been a bearish trend. So as I mentioned, this represents a bullish divergence. Now with these lines drawn out, it's much easier to see. So what does this mean for Algorand? In my opinion, it could mean good things. However, Algorand has been in this downtrend, as you can see, marked by this big, thick green line ever since it topped out back in November of 2021. It has yet to be able to break above it. It tried its hardest back in April of 2023, but it has yet to do it. And it also has some moving averages above it that could act as resistance. So I think what's next on the agenda for Algorand is a pump upwards to about 11 cents, 10 to 11 cents. If it can break above that, then it's going to about 11.50, maybe 12 cents. And then from there, it has a little bit more room to grow all the way up to about 16 cents being its next line of resistance, and then 21 cents being its next line of resistance there. If it can reclaim this 21 cent line, remember, this is the 50-week moving average, it'll be back into the bull market support band. However, we have a long way to go. We have thick resistance on this downtrend and a lot of moving average resistance to go above it, but I could see Algorand breaking this trend and reclaiming the 16 cent area, 15, 16 cent area over the course of the next couple of weeks. All right, so when we take a look at HBAR, HBAR actually looks surprisingly weak as well. So here we have the 50-week moving average acting as the bull market support band up until about 2021, early 2022. We broke that and have been below it just about ever since. We tried reclaiming it just last month and failed. We were rejected off of it. We got above it maybe for a week or two, but it didn't last long. Now we sit below it at around 5 cents, just under 5 cents, and things don't look that great for crypto. Fortunately, HBAR is still making higher lows, so as long as it continues this pattern, there's no reason to assume it won't continue. However, it is no longer making higher highs. So we could see HBAR break down in the near future. Now, if you zoom in just a little bit, you can see we had a buy signal flash here back in July, July 15th, July 12th, somewhere around then, and we had our sell signal flash just this past day. Now, if it doesn't land on this diagonal support at around 0.44 cents, then we could see it go down as low as 4 cents exactly based on these Fibonacci levels. That would be the same low we made back in June, and if we break below that, we could go as low as the prior lows at the beginning of this year, around 0.35 cents, so about 3.5 cents. I'll be honest, at just about every time frame I look at, HBAR does look pretty weak. I would be relatively concerned holding this. Now, this right here on the 3-week doesn't look too bad. It's holding, the RSI is holding the moving average currently as support, but the RSI is trending down. So if we break that, I do believe that could be, of course, not a great thing for HBAR. We could retest some prior lows as low as 2.5 cents to as even below a penny. Now, taking a look at XRP also looks relatively weak, at least currently. One of the few good things about XRP currently is that it's above its 50-week moving average. The 50-week moving average is at about 46 cents, and XRP currently sits at around 51 cents. So that's a good sign. We do not want to lose that 50-week moving average. So the RSI topped out on around July 17th, and the RSI hadn't seen levels that high since about April 2021, when the price of XRP topped out at almost $2. So these were completely overbought levels here, back at around the 91-cent level. I'd like to see XRP's RSI get back down as low as it was back in June or so of 2022. These oversold levels are great times to buy. As we could see here, you could have been getting in around 30 cents at those RSI levels. I'd like to see XRP's RSI come back down to about those levels before I begin layering back into XRP. So another good thing about XRP is that although we had a downtrend here in 2021, if we look at the more macro level, we've been in an uptrend technically since 2020. We've had a lot of volatility in between, but from 2020 to now, we've continued on this uptrend. And there's no reason to think that we're going to break it anytime soon. So although XRP looks weak and we could come down some, there's no reason to assume we're going to go below this green diagonal line. We could see XRP come down to as low as 38 to 40 cents and retest this line and bounce off of it. I think that's completely plausible, especially during this typically bearish month of September. But there's no reason to assume we'll go below that, especially with all of the good news with XRP being deemed not a security, as well as the bullish news about Western Union partnering with Ripple, and so forth. So real quick, what I think is going to happen is we're going to have XRP come down and retest this 50-week moving average again around 46 cents. We touched it back in early August 14th, but I think we're going to touch it again about 46 cents. If we break below that, we're going to go maybe as low as about 40 cents and then back up and head towards $1 again. I think this next time that we start heading towards $1 in the lead up to the Bitcoin halving, I think we'll break it, unlike we did in July of this past year. We did not break it. We topped out at about 95 cents. Here we have Ethereum. Ethereum has been in a super macro uptrend. So we can see this right here going back as far as basically 2016. We've been in this macro uptrend, even though we've had these more micro downtrends in between. Lots of volatility. However, we're coming up on a very pivotal point. We're here retesting this historic macro uptrend. And as we stated in the last video, I think this is what's going to happen with Ethereum. It's going to come down. It's going to retest this, which it basically has. We're almost there. I mean, we're maybe 1 or 2 weeks. If we just stay at these levels for another week or two, it'll bounce. It'll be touching this trend line. Not only is it going to retest this super macro bullish trend line, but it's also retesting its 50-week moving average, the bull market support band. So of course we zoom out. Every time we've been above the 50-week, it's like clockwork. We are in a bull market. Every time we break below it, just like we did here in January 2022, we are in a bear market. We broke above it in March 2023 and have been above it since. However, as I stated, We are testing that 50-week moving average. We are about to test the historic trend line. I think this could be a super strong support. This would really be, in theory, based on the charts, an amazing time to be entering into a position on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum currently sits at about 1,660, and I could see it going as low as 1580. So definitely you could, get in at a better point. But this is, in my opinion, a great point for Ethereum. Its next major line of resistance isn't until about $2,166. So although historically September is a bad month for stocks and crypto, and it could continue to be, Ethereum could bleed about 5 or 10% or just move sideways throughout the entire month of September. I think on the 50-week moving average and this historic trend line, this is a great zone to buy. As I said, you might be able to get in closer to 1,500 versus 1,600, but regardless, I think we're going to look back and see this as a no-brainer. But that's just what I think. I want to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my technical analysis on Bitcoin, Algorand, HBAR, XRP, and Ethereum. Do you think September is going to be a bad month as it has been historically? Do you think we're going to see a lead up into the next halving as we also have historically? I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to know what coins you're trading, what coins you think I should look at for the next time I do technical analysis. And I also want you to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend. And once you're done with that, ping that notification bell because we have some fantastic guests coming up on our live show. We've got Anthony Scaramucci coming on. We've got Stacey Warden, the CEO of the Algorand Foundation, coming on. We have Mark Yusko, the founder of Morgan Creek Capital, and so many other big names coming on the show. You aren't going to want to miss it. So be sure you subscribe, be sure you ping that notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.